Um, Let me know when again. My name is RaTha. So I've been with Bhakti Fest and the inceptions 10 years ago. Um, it's just kind of I grew up with all this motif, all this God and deities motif. It's my cultural roots. I grow up in that culture. So when I first come to Bhakti Fest and I see a bunch of white people practicing, doing kirtan and yoga poses and workshop, I was like, what? I was a little shocked to my system, like what? Westerner practicing this form of yoga and singing, praising the Lord of the Lord on the different names. But I like what Deepak Chopra said yesterday. He was saying that the oneness is so vast and infinite that it's humanly impossible to fit it into a box. But since God is unconditional and loving, it's manifest in many shapes and forms for us to comprehend, a little mind to wrap up. So our little mind could wrap our mind around it, So that's the mercy of the Lord, I guess, just having infinite compassion to creation, like manifest it into different reality and shape and form. And it touched me too last night. Another point that touched me with the kirtan evolution of Bhakti Fest is that I'm a believer of Western Ascended Master too, like Joshua and Moses, Abraham also, like if it's unconditional love and if thing is infinite, omnipresent, present and omniconscious, then religion and Messiah is not just one culture, it's myriads. You heard of that? All road. It's my rendition of all road lead to Rome. All path lead to oneness, ideally, So, but it's this point in my life when I was traveling about 10 years ago, I went on a spiritual pilgrimage back to my motherland in Cambodia. If you guys don't know this, but Cambodia has one of the biggest, grandest Vedic Hindu stone temple complex on the planet. So that's my roots, that's my upbringing. And I was fortunate enough to go back and reconnect and reroot it. I went through a point of when I got to America, when I came first cross over to America, I was around 8. I was going through a cultural diaspora, and I was at a sense of identity crisis. I didn't know what I was, like I was being reprogramming and exposed to new culture, like the American culture. So as I grow up, I still have this internal conflict about who do I call to, who do I pray to? I tried Joshua, like Joshua still, there's a certain part about Joshua teaching I preach to and praise to, but it's not, something inside of me was still missing, you know what I'm saying? So like, it's not hitting my roots, my core, until I went back to Cambodia and saw all this ancient temple and with the ancient, like with all this bas relief of the gods and demons and deity, and so I just got invoked something within my soul, it's like I got rerouted. So back then I was more like thugged out. I had short hair, cap, do-rag, tank top, white tee, just typical urban outfit, until I went back to Cambodia. I had a revelation, I was doing humanitarian work in my motherland. I started my rapture and awakening, second birth. You heard of second birth? That shit is so real, guys. Where you mentally, psychologically wanted to die, but something higher. I sat and meditated in front of a Bodhi tree at night time in Cambodia, I was desperate. I was going through a heartbreak, despair, melancholy after being exposed to the atrocity of my countrymen. You know, like kids were being prostituted from as low as 5 years old and up. A lot of landmine victims, a lot of acid victims. So, and I thought I was suffering, you know. But once I got to see my motherland, I was like, I see how much more people, way more people are suffering. It's not about life is not just about suffering, but suffering is a teacher. You know, like the darkness is the teacher. So suffering is a form of darkness too. So that darkness taught me that not just one, there's a different level, you know, like how deep do you want to go? You know, are you, if that's what compassion be, I've totally somatically, compassion is a somatic experience. Like once can you mentally remove yourself from your body and put yourself in someone else's shoes and walk that. And I was able to do that because I was so exposed to many people suffering in my motherland, like children, women, men. It just, now that's why I got me to this point where we're at practice to circle, to, you know, it's like a full circle again. So I think everything does happen for a reason. The teacher is our environment, you know, the guru or the teacher is within us, and you're right, it's every second, every moment when you travel, when you're exposed to new thing or old thing, you know, and relearning. It's about relearning, you know. Just so I'm all those things just keep coming back to me. I've been called to after I had that awakening. All this mystic was drawn to me. I was being, you know, guided and you know, like their hand was like pulling me to go in this path. I used to walk on a dark path, you know. I used to hang out with killer criminals, you know, murderers, and it just life took a turn, you know, just because like enough of suffering in my motherland already. And then I start to see the beauty of life, you know. So like life is not just about suffering. I want to share this message with everyone in the world again. It's a relearning, a reawakening again. You know, some of the teaching's been lost because of religion and man-made structure. You know, this life is about balance. You know, there's suffering and there's pleasure and joy. You know, you just have to keep that balance. You know. Yeah. And yeah, I've been with this tribal family for at least 10 years now, but off and on I took off like 2 years off, but I've been with them since like day one. Starting off being just like a, you know, just a fresh face on the scene, on the back, you know, friends trying to sneak me in to doing my saver, to getting on a payroll. So I got to taste all full spectrum to get to this point, you know. Like I didn't just end up being backstage over one night. This Shrikala right there. Haribo, brother. Yeah.
Let's get him up here.
Shrikala. Yeah, but let's outlet. Let's try to get him up here really quick.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's probably